Hey guys, welcome back. In this particular video, we will do the same exact thing that we did with RIP in the previous video, running it on the ASA firewall in conjunction with the router. See the similarities and dissimilarities between between running EIGRP on the ASA versus the router. So what are the main topics of this particular module? Configuring EIGRP on the ASA firewall as we did with RIP. I'll show you how similar it is to run EIGRP on the ASA firewall. We will be running it in conjunction with the router because the EIGRP on the router will communicate to EIGRP on the ASA firewall. We'll take a look at the authentication configuration. Again, just like RIP, EIGRP also uses the keychain concept on the router, and just like RIP, EIGRP does not use the keychain concept on the ASA. So on router, only under what? Under the interface on ASA. So you'll see the two ways of doing it, one on the router, one on the ASA firewall. We'll do the verification commands and a lab config. Again, it's going to build on the lab that we did with RIP, but get rid of RIP and run EIGRP instead on all the different routers. That's the objective over here. So let's get started with it. A lot of similarities of what we did in the previous video. Configuring EIGRP, just like RIP, all routing protocols on whether it's a router or an ASA firewall start with the router command, followed by the routing protocol. Just like EIGRP on a router, you need to specify an AS number which needs to match on the neighboring router. Over here, the same thing. So router EIGRP 100 is what I would type in on the ASA firewall, exactly the same way that I did on a Cisco router. Auto summarization of subnets is also turned on by default. Well, this depends on the iOS that you're running. Some of the iOSs now disable it by default, some of them have it on. Either way, it's always better to have it off. So no auto summary is what I would do on my ASA firewall in either case. Once that's done, just like on a router, the network command, enable it by using the network command, just like you do on a router. The difference over here, though, is when you specify that, this is how you would do it on a router. If you want to do it on the ASA firewall does not support the wildcard mask. So if you don't want to do it based on, if you want to do it for a specific subnet, not the entire major network, you would need to put the wildcard mask as 255.255.255.0. So on an ASA firewall, and this will help you on your ACLs as well when we cover the ACLs, that anytime you have a wildcard mask we used to use a wildcard mask on the router, the inverse mask. Here, there is no concept of a wildcard mask on a ASA firewall, on a Cisco ASA firewall. Instead, on the firewall, you have the normal mask. So over here, I'm basically specifying I want to enable EIGRP on the 10.3.3 network, and I don't need to put the mask if it's a default mask. All right, same concept. The only difference is that I do use the normal mask versus the wildcard mask on the ASA firewall. Okay, you can also enable it using the wildcard mask, or I shouldn't say that, by using a normal mask, which allows you to be more specific, which is exactly what we did over here. Now, in terms of authentication, exactly the way we did for RIP. Authentication on the router is done based on the keychain concept. It's on a per interface basis. On an ASA firewall, it does not have the keychain concept. You do it under the interface. The difference between RIP and EIGRP, it's not between the ASA and the router, is that on RIP, I had two type of authentication mechanisms. You had clear text or MD5. In EIGRP, there's only one. The EIGRP authentication mechanism is MD5. All right. Although it's the default, you still need to turn it on. You still need to set the mode. So let's go ahead and take a look at the config in terms of how do you configure it on the router versus the ASA firewall. I just talked about that. On the router, you still need the keychain concept, key ID, key string. On the ASA, key ID and key string is applied to the interface. In addition to the key, you also need to specify the authentication mode. So you still need to put the authentication mode, although it is the only mode. It turns the authentication on the interface by doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the configuration commands over here. Just like for the ASA firewall, just like RIP, I have the keychain concept on the router, applying of the keychain to the interface, setting the mode. IP authentication mode for EIGRP 100 is MD5. For the ASA, authentication key for EIGRP 100 is Cisco 123. So I put the key directly under the interface. Key ID is 1. You get my point? And then the authentication mode for EIGRP is 100. For EIGRP 100 is MD5. Very similar to the way you do it on the ASA for RIP, but the commands are slightly different. The verification commands again. Show run route displays the running config, a router actually, for a routing protocol. We'll do it like that. Show route shows the displays the routing table. Ping is the normal ping. So our lab now. Over here, we have the ASA firewall in the middle. We are running RIP right now with all of them. I'm going to disable RIP again using that powerful command, clear configure. And in my case right now, I'm going to clear the configuration for router, which will clear all my RIP configuration. Let's take a look. So all my RIP configuration will be gone from the ASA firewall. I would need to do the no router RIP on the routers. So let's finish that off first. If I do show run router, I have RIP running. Show route RIP shows all the RIP routes. I'll clear configure router. So all my routing protocols would be gone. So it's blank, just the directly connected ones. On the other routers, I'll just do no router RIP. So that they're blank routers again. Not blank, but blank in the sense of routing protocols. They're not running any routing protocols right now. So now my objective, once I clear them, clear configure router, and also use the no router RIP command on the routers to disable RIP. We've done that. Configure EIGRP in AS100 on all the routers. Make sure all the 10XX networks are reachable from the ASA. We'll get this up and running, and then we'll do the MD5 authentication with a key ID of 1, key string of Cisco 555 between ASA and router 2. So let's go ahead and get the routers up and running first. Let's start with router 1, which is at the bottom. Router EIGRP 100, no auto summary, network. If I had to do the network statement over here, if you take a look over here, I have the individual networks. If I wanted to enable them individually, I would use the inverse mask. That's how you would do it on a router. The reason I'm doing that, I could have easily done the 10.0.0 command. That would have enabled it on all of the 10 interfaces. I wanted to do this so that you guys can see how the wildcard mask differs. On the ASA firewall, I'll do router EIGRP 100, no auto summary, network 10.11.11.0. Over here, my mask is the normal mask. And as soon as I do that, I should have EIGRP up and running. If I do show route EIGRP, those are my 3 routes. Show EIGRP neighbor, 10.11.11.1 is my neighbor. So I'm running EIGRP with router 1 now. I can ping this guy. I can ping 10.10.10.1, which is also behind R1, 10, 20, 21. Those are these networks that I have behind router 1 over here. So I have reachability to these routers over here. So now that I've done the inside interface, let's do the DMZs, which is 3 and 4. I'll do the ASA together, and then we'll go to the routers do it. So for the DMZ networks, I'll do these together. 3.0. Oops, wrong. Let's put the right one in, and then we'll get rid of the wrong one. Show run router. Okay, good. So now on R3, router EIGRP 100, network is 168.3.0, and my other network is 10. Be specific with the wildcard mask. Show IP route EIGRP. It is very quick to converge, so I should have all the routes, which I do. And on R4, router EIGRP 100, no auto summary. Network is 4.0 and 10.4.4.0 with a wildcard mask. Did I do no auto summary over here? No, I didn't. No auto summary. All right, done. And the last one, the last leg is the outside, which is just a 10.2 network because they only want to enable it on the 10 networks, not the 199s. So on the outside, R2, router EIGRP 100, no auto summary, network is 20.0, that's 20.0. And we'll do 10 over here, that's good enough. On the ASA, router EIGRP 100, network is 20.0. Show route EIGRP. I have all the routes, should be able to ping all of them. So reachability is complete. Oops, not 10. 10, 20, 21. All reachability is complete. So this part of the lab, make sure all 10x networks are reachable from the ASA, done. Configure MD5 authentication using a key ID of 1 key string of Cisco 555 between ASA and R2. I think on the ASA, sorry, on the router, I already have a keychain created with the same parameters. Key ID of 1, key string of Cisco 555. I can use the same keychain and apply it to the interface for EIGRP. The command IP authentication mode for EIGRP 100 is MD5. So IP authentication keychain for EIGRP 100 is ABC. So basically the way the command goes is you put the mode followed by the EIGRP AS number that you're enabling it on. So you don't put it directly. So the mode over here goes like this. Mode is MD5 for EIGRP 100. And that will be the same type of thing for the router. So again, the keychain for EIGRP 100 is this goes with the keychain over here. Good. So as you guys can see that the neighbor is down over here. Why is it down? Because the other guy is not doing the authentication yet for EIGRP. Let's go ahead and do that on the ASA. How do I do it on the ASA? I'll go to the outside interface. There's no IP in the command because it is only IP based. Say authentication mode for EIGRP 100 is MD5. Authentication key for EIGRP 100 is Cisco 555. Key dash ID is 1. And this should bring my neighbor relationship up. You can see the neighbor came back up. and I should see all my EIGRP routes now over here as well as on the ASA. So 10.2 that I had lost the connectivity towards is back up and running. The commands as a recap are over here. So on the ASA, I cleared the routing protocol, ran EIGRP, enabled it on all the different interfaces, just so that you guys get a chance to see the way a mask is set. I did it like this, although 10.0.0.0 would have also gotten the job done. The way you do authentication, it is on gig 00. On the outside interface, mode for EIGRP 100 is MD5. Let me color it a bit so that you guys can see that it is based on this. The mode I'll put in this guy so you guys can see it in your document a little better. So key goes with this guy over here, Cisco 123. Actually, it is Cisco 555. That's what I used. And the key ID is 1. That's okay. That's key ID is okay. This one we need to put in this color so you guys also can make a distinction. So that's how I do the authentication on the ASA. So the keychain concept or keychain components are directly put under the interface. On the routers, I got rid of RIP and then ran EIGRP again, just for the heck of it. Actually, let me do this normally and I'll do it over here because it's only one network over here. Over there, there's 3 networks. The mask is inverse. 10.2. All right, the keychain concept and apply it over here. Again, same thing over here. Let's do this first. Highlight it so you guys can see it when you're looking at your notes. Mode goes with this one, and the keychain gets applied over here. And the keychain is the one that has the key and the key string over here. Let me highlight this so you guys know where it's linked. All right, router 3, router 4 just got rid of RIP and ran EIGRP instead. Pinged it, and that's it. So we're done with EIGRP as well as a routing protocol. Next up, OSPF. Do join us. Thanks for watching.